Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, everybody around the world. Welcome back to another One Piece video featuring IMU. Coming at you guys with another Spicey Deck Profile for OP13, which feels really good to say nowadays, because I think everybody and their brother is probably very tired of the current format in the game. Unfortunately, going into OP13, you guys will probably either quit or continue playing and just be miserable because you're not going to see a whole lot of decks in the current format, which, being the top 3, IMU, Ace, and Zoro, have a lot of fun at your local scene because you guys aren't going to get a whole lot of wiggle room when it comes to different decks every single night, which is unfortunate for a lot of people. But going into the top 3 here, IMU has the least flexibility out of the leaders, being Zoro and Ace and IMU, right? This deck on release is very similar to Blackbeard, meaning they get support out of the box in which you first see IMU from. Now, with that being said, that means there's not going to be a whole lot of different builds, especially when it comes to IMU. I have no idea what that word was there a second ago. It wasn't English. Anyway, you're not going to see a whole lot of different builds when it comes to this deck at all. You do have a little bit of wiggle room. In this particular list, we have like 6 slots in which we can just sub out different cards: Shirahoshi, Sabo, and Stussy or Stussy, depending on how you want to say it. Now, each one of these has their use, right, which is great. Shirahoshi being very strong into the Ace matchup, which is nice considering he draws a lot of cards, so he often has a bigger hand. This allows your opponent to force you to discard a card, which is good. The Sabo, on the other hand, isn't searchable, but it's a 2k counter along with being a blocker, which you can cheat out for 3 Dawn instead of 6, considering how easy it is to get 15 or more cards in your trash. And then, of course, the Stussy or Stussy, depending on how you want to say it, pops big bodies on board. So think of cards like, especially when you're looking at green, it allows you to remove Kid, Shanks, all of the big problematic bodies. This also allows you to remove Whitebeard, which is going to be very problematic for you, especially when you're playing into the mirror, against Ace. So allows you to remove Taxbeard, allows you to remove the blocker Whitebeard. This is still a very solid card. Now, with that being said, it's a 9 cost versus the 10 cost. You still want to be going second in pretty much all of your matchups. Do be mindful of that, especially against Ace, for example. But those times in which you don't win that die roll, sometimes this card comes off as, a valuable asset. Either way, we will be diving into a bunch of games today, so stay tuned. Oh, before we do that, if we end up running into the mirror today, do be mindful, you guys have 2 stages, right? You select your stage after the die roll. So, for example, you sit down, your opponent's playing, I don't know, like a Nell, for example, or what have you. Once you win the die roll, considering you see what leader they're playing, they often want to go second as a Nell most of the time. You can win the die roll, then you can decide first or second, then you can choose your stage for that matchup, which is pretty good. Now, in most cases, let's say you're playing against the mirror match as IMU, you typically want to go with the 1 cost stage here over the 7. Now, that's just because you guys are able to get bodies down on board relatively easily and pressure the other IMU player, but that's often how you want to do the matchup. Other than that, you're typically going the 7-drop stage in most cases situations. So let's dive into a bunch of games today. So you guys in a split second. Let's go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. We're going to dive into a bunch of games today. Come at you guys with IMU playing into Goldie Roger in OP13. I'll go ahead and just put this out there. If you guys hear meows in the background, I apologize. We just got a brand new kitten, so that's a whole thing. She's very needy. I'll try to edit it out if possible if I notice it during recording when I'm going back and doing the whole thing. But if not, hey, that's what you hear. I apologize. Either way, let's go and dive into this matchup today. We did end up winning the die roll, so again, like I said beforehand, we want to be going second into pretty much all these matchups. Roger is, I don't want to say a pushover. This deck, once it gets going, it's very, very difficult to stop, especially when the promo comes out. And unfortunately, on the sim, you are playing against Rogers that do have access to the promo. So that pushes Roger in the late game to a 9k lead. And if he can chain these back to back to back, we're not hitting that target realistically, very easily at all. So without the promo, the deck is still very, very good, but it's not among the lines of the top 3. Now, that's not to say he can't body any other deck in the format. because he's definitely going to be able to do that. It's just, in this matchup, with IMU, you have one goal. You guard out early game, you survive until you're able to get the Gorosei, you know, the 10 drop, and then you just keep swinging. When you are attacking, you're not going to be going for 9k into a 7, you're going to be going a exact number. So you're going 7 into 7, or you're going to go 5 into 5 while he is a 5k power on board currently. Outside of that, it's just to chip away at his hands, considering the deck runs a lot of bricks. You're searching out with Buggy, you're searching out with Shanks, you're getting your big bodies, which typically have no counter. So, and then I've come to realize that this matchup, kind of similar to Shanks, it's in the late game, you guys have nothing but big bodies in hand, mostly, right? Which means you're cheating out, or not cheating out, you're putting out a big body on the board at a turn. So, which is kind of cool, but at the same time, The other upside to this matchup, whereas it's different than Shanks, Roger ramps very, very fast. So, he's able to slot in big bodies a lot quicker than you are, especially when he can keep pressuring you, which means you get to rip cards out of hand. So, I did have to take that hit there. I didn't want to pitch out my Shirahoshi just yet. I probably should have, but I don't see myself getting value in this matchup with Shirahoshi, but there could be a possibility where we're able to throw it down and just to get cards out of his hand in the late game, but we'll see. That probably was a misplay on my part there. We'll take this here for now. We have already 1/5 Elders in hand here, which is pretty good. We should draw into the other ones before we need them later. This is going to get bodied next turn anyway, so you might as well just swing with it. Okay, so we get 1. We'll go 5 again. I have seen different variations of Roger, by the way, in which I think you guys should be on the lookout for that as well. I think the deck is very flexible in what it can run and what it and what it wants to do. I've seen variations of early game aggro with things like the Sanji that you drop on board and you rip life and then boost it up. I've seen things like that. I've seen Zoros in this build for whatever reason. It's very flexible. So you typically never really know what to expect. You just know that their late game is often better than yours, which is problematic, but hey, each their own. Speaking of which, all we've really seen is just search amongst search and search. We got 1 Bon Clay on board. We kind of know what he's getting in hand, which is kind of nice, but currently our board state necessarily isn't ready for it. Our late game though, however, having access to free blockers with our 10 drop is just really good here. We do, however, have to be mindful of the 10 drop Roger, which is unblockable, so I'll take that, it's no problem. Go 5 here. We will have to guard these though. I don't want to go down to 1 life just yet. Just gonna go 8. Okay. We'll drop our event here. Not sure why he left up 1 Dawn, but we'll take that. I guess first things first here, we really just need to clear board, right? So we can get rid of the Bon Clay. We can get the search off here, then trash it with our IMU ability. Yep. I hate that Sim does this, it's really annoying. Do we have... I think we already have a 2k in trash, I believe. I'm pretty sure. Or no, we don't. Okay. 6. He's a 7 now. We need to clear the Bon Clay first, which should be free. Thank you. We'll go ahead and trash this. There's another one, which is really good. Because now technically we can have 2 rush units come down on this turn, but we don't have enough power to swing into them with the attachments here. Let's go 7 here. Yep. If we can get Roger down to 2 life before we're able to drop the 10 cost next turn, we might be able to start cooking. No, I don't need to play this. We'll just go 7 here. Sure. Cool. Got him the 2. We'll do the thing. We'll play down a blocker here. And then we'll pass it over. We'll leave up 1 Dawn. Like I said, I'm aware that we could have gone 8k into it. I'm just looking to get cards out of hand or do chip damage. We'll leave up the Dawn here just in case we get an event off life, which we can utilize. So Roger's looking to probably drop the big body here, if he's just going to go 7k. Yep, there's the Shanks. 7 to lead. We only can take 1 of these hits. And the downside is he's going to be able to remove any character on board here. So we'll give him the Shirahoshi here. This will go up to 8, then Shank swings at me for 12. Which, actually, we'll give this instead, just in case. We'll block. We'll get a free card draw. There's the stage, or sorry, not stage, the event. Okay, so now we're at 10. And we have 2 10 costs in hand. Which means if we want to get around the Shanks minus 1000, we're going to need to be able to have St. Peter on board. That's the only other way we're going to be able to swing in here on all of our characters without attaching a lot of Dawn. Let me get those cards, please. Thank you. And now that also means we have to attach Dawn here as well. We do have the wiggle room, though, which isn't too bad. So we'll go ahead and get the 10 cost on board, which is good. I probably should have... Yeah, I probably should have swung with the other 2 first, but I really want to see what we're going to be able to grab from off this. Because we do get the search here. And I have to be mindful, because we might be able to pull off another event from Saturn here. Guess it really doesn't matter what we trash. We'll pop the buggy. Okay, this is good. We'll take the event. This gives us an additional 1,000, which not 1,000, sorry, 3,000, which is good. And then hopefully we can play off this pretty well. Because we need to leave up at least 2 Dawn here. We can't really clear the Shanks, but we can actually get some damage in on Roger, which should be able to put him down to 1 here. Nice. Ooh. I don't remember if we used IMU's ability there or not. I don't think we did. Oh well. It is what it is now. Alright, sitting at 6. He took the 9, and we got out... what? A 7k swing he countered out of, and then he countered out of the 2 7s actually back to back, which is good. He did end up taking the 9, which tells me he doesn't have a whole lot of counter in hand, which is good. Because I think for him this turn it's either going to be he plays the big body or has a bunch of events in hand to be able to protect himself from, the following turn. Because no matter what, next turn we are going to be swinging for 7 7 7s, right? Which is going to force more cards out of his hand. If he doesn't have them, he's going to lose the game here. Give us the event here. Another Shanks. Okay. I mean, that's helpful, to be fair. I could guard here, actually. It's probably better to do that. Are we good? Thank you. Now remember, we don't get the cost reduction, or sorry, the power reduction due to Peter being on board, which is really good for us. He'll need another Shanks on board for it to, be effective. But we'll go 7 lead. Yep. Okay. 1 2k. And we have 1 more 10 cost in hand here as well. If this lands, we'll just go all in. Cool. That's super risky, though. Yeah, I think it's way too risky for me. I think I've dealt with Whitebeard way too many times to realize that when you put all your eggs in one basket, they typically have an out. So, not bad. Keep them coming at you guys, rapid fire. Coming into you guys with another matchup with IMU playing into another Goldie Roger here. We ended up going second here as well. We got the die roll, which is good. I typically like to start off these matchups, considering I didn't say so last game, looking for double searchers in hand. So either Saturn plus the 1-cost searcher, or Saturn plus the 1-cost searcher event. I forget what the lady's name is, but the 1-cost woman that we have, I forgot her name. But either one or the other. Now, if you don't start off with either one of these, you're in for a bad time, because we need to be able to fill the trash as quickly as possible here. What am I doing? Get out of here. We'll trash this, which we did not get the lady, which is unfortunate. So what the pass turn. So actually we might be in for a rough time, but we'll see. Going 6 lead. We're going to have to give him a 2k counter here. I told you I like to guard early in this matchup. Searchers. I'm assuming. Sanji. Okay. Funny enough, we talk about Sanji and Pierce. The last Roger also was utilizing this card too, which is crazy. We'll go 5 here. They do typically like to take early, which is interesting. I'd imagine just to look for their big bodies, but they have, what, 8 searchers? Or sorry, 12 searchers, because they have the event and then Buggy and Shanks. But still. Okay, so we get a 1k. I guess we can play Saturn here, right? We'll take the Gorsei. And we'll pass it over here. We'll use our ability. I guess it really doesn't matter here, because we're either giving him the 2k counter in the Shirahoshi, we give him the War Cry. Mars is really good for the following turn, considering we went second. And I'd rather play Mars over Shushiro here, or Nushiro, sorry. And I think it's because we can remove the body. He drops down on curve this turn, if he has access to it. So we're going 6 again. I imagine Sanji rips life, which is great. Because that way we can force cards out of hand with our swings next turn as well. And or play down our 6-drop Mars to pop the Sanji. Let's go 6 lead here. 5 in hands. We gotta guard early. Oh, okay. Douglas Bullet, huh? Interesting. Like I said, I feel like every Roger deck that I play up against has like a different variation, which is nice. Bullet is pretty strong. I just don't necessarily think it's something I really need to be worried about. I'd rather pop the Bullet, though, with Mars instead of the Sanji. If he wants to rip life with Sanji, I'm totally all for it. Yep. Cool. So he's going to go down to 3, or sorry, 4, which is good for us. This will be the first hit. We get a Saturn. We could have used the 1-drop event, which is probably better for us to do that there, because I'm not going to be using that to clear anybody on board in this matchup. But I guess taking 1 hit here isn't too bad, considering he went down to 4 life. What are we dropping here for 1? We're playing to search? No. Okay, cool. We get another event here, which is good. I think I want to go for Roger here. The correct play might have been just removing the Sanji, but getting cards out of hand is still very valuable going into this late game. So pressure is pretty good. Oh, okay, it takes the hit. Cool. I did not expect that. We'll do it again. There's no way he lets both of these go, though. Come on. Give me a 2k. I'd appreciate it. I think he just wanted cards there, actually. That's probably why he took the hit off of Saturn. And I felt like if he did, or considering he did take the hit, there's no reason for us to go Sanji. He just has to counter for that. He did give me a 2k, which is good. I'll go ahead and pop this. We'll get down the Mars. And then I think it's better for us just to remove the Sanji here. Like, logically, it's probably better for them to remove the Sanji. I know Bullet becomes a, you know, a little bit of a bigger body here, which is still problematic, but Sanji's just going to keep getting him free cards off life if he wants to activate the ability again. And I think once he goes up to 8, Bullet gets the boost, if I recall. Yep. So it's a 6k body here. Which isn't too bad, because now we can either go for the Bullet or we can go for Roger and force him to pitch cards either way. I think he's going to guard off on the Bullet, which is good, so that might just be guaranteed for him to, you know, give me cards there. Okay, the second one. Not what I expected either. I mean, that's pretty good for him in the early to mid game, but... He was on 8 Dawn, right? And if that's his best choice, his hand must not be the best right now. Which is good for us. Because no Rush Rayleigh, no big body, no blockers. We're looking pretty good. However, though, he's now a 7k base, thanks to the Bullet he played on this turn. Which now means we have to attach more Dawn to our characters on board to be able to swing at him, so... Yep. I mean... He's going to be swinging, what, for 8k with Leader? So... We do have to take at least one of these hits, I think. Oh, okay. He's going to go 9. That's problematic. Because now we have to give him more cards out of hand here. Which I can't really take this hit, so. Not that we wanted to use the event, but it is what it is. We'll save the other one, and we'll just give him another 1k counter. I know that was backwards, and I probably should have done it like that, but he knows that we had the other event there. He doesn't know we have the other one drop, so. I think if we were going to do it that way, we should just guard it out of the Bullet there. And then taking the 9k maybe. But going down to 1 life is probably very, very bad here in this situation. Let's go 6. Let me cook, man. Alright, we got this. It's fine. It's okay. Let me get some cards, please. So I'm looking just to do this again anyway. Cool. Here she gives it to us. Which is not what I expected. We'll go 7 lead. Puts him down to 2 life. We'll get your boy down here for our blocker for the time being. And that's really all we can do. Because now we either get rid of Mars with our ability or we pitch a 2k counter in hand. Which... we'll leave it. Because I think if we pitch the Mars, he just goes face. He's more than likely to swing into it just to remove the body on, you know, on the field this turn, either way. Which is kind of like a pseudo blocker, so we'll take it. Six. So this is his moment. Does he have the big body here or not? He ended up playing the Bullet earlier when he was at 8 Dawn, which instead of playing a big body like I expected him to do, so either he didn't have it or he wanted to just get the extra ramp to make Roger become a 7k, I'm not too sure. We'll guard out here. He's definitely playing it now though. Yep. Oh, okay. So here's the promo Roger. This is why this deck is going to be so good once this comes out in December. Roger is now at 9k until, you know, end of my next turn, which is very tragic. Very, very tragic. Because as you know, that means we have to attach 4 Don here to be able to swing in on the leader, which is not ideal. 9 here. I don't mind blocking. It's just to get the extra card. That's really it. Alright, ladies and gentlemen. I cannot play Mars here to pop the Utha. However, we can have Mars come down to pop the bullet on board, which is great. It doesn't really matter what we draw here. It's going to end up in the trash anyway. Off our ability, yep. We'll trash this, we'll get a free draw. Ooh, this could be pretty good. We can play this to pop the Roger. But if he has like Rush Shanks in hand, oof. Because that could be what? A leader swing plus Shank swing. We have no Don active at that point. That'll put us down to 1 life because we have the blocker on board. But we're also going to go 6 here. So I'm hoping to get the Utha, which would be good. But I think he's probably smart and realizes that we're going to play 10 cost here, in which Mars can't pop the Utha. So if anything, he should give us the bullet. Nice. So now Mars can't really deal with this Utha that's on board right now. But we do get more bodies here. I guess we can trash this, right? Just want to double check. Okay, we have everything. Cool. Let's do the thing. This is our first 10 cost. Oops. That's my fault. I didn't really... Yep. That's my bad. Oh well. Hey, we'll take that. Mistakes happen. I clicked it too quick. It is what it is. But we end up getting a 5 cost, or sorry, 10 Elders off of our Searcher with Saturn, which is pretty good for us here. And I think we have to go 9 here. And I'll leave up 2 Dawn. Just in case we pull another event off life. This still checks Roger for a 1k counter in hand, so I'm still getting a card no matter what. Or the blocker on board. And now that we have Peter, only thing we have to do is attach 2 Dawn per character to swing in at 9k, which is good. Before we play the 10 cost Elder. Okay, takes the hit. I don't know why he didn't give us the Utha, but, you know, hey, it is what it is. Perhaps it's valuable to him due to the fact that we can't remove it with Mars, so I'm not too sure. Or maybe he just wanted the free card, I don't know. So what's your game plan here? Because nothing on my board can be removed, which is great. So he's going to have to run into the bodies that we have here. So 8-drop Roger and Need probably will go in for our 6-drop, if I had to guess. It might just be better for him to run Leader into it. That way he forces out a block, or we just let it go. Which, ideally, we can guard out with our 4 cost and get a free draw, so. Shanks, maybe? Another Roger. What are we doing? A second Roger back-to-back. That is unfortunate. So Roger becomes another 9k for a turn. We'll guard out here just to get a free draw. We get a 2k counter here. He has 2 Dawn open. Going 10k into what? Lead? Okay. I still don't want to actually take this hit, so. And now we at least have 3 swings that we can go back in for the following turn. Or we can play Stussy to pop down one of the Rogers. Another Utha. My boy needs to chill. However, though, I'm pretty sure we have this game with the amount of bodies that we'll have on the board versus him. Because he's only going to have 2 swings plus lead, so. And we get back 2 blockers every single time with our 10 costs, which is really good. So I think at this point he's going to have to give me his blockers now or give me cards out of hand. And I think last time we swung for 9 he took the hit. Okay, maybe that's off the draw, perhaps? Maybe. Yeah, we'll just go 9 again. Give us the Uta, please? Because that's a whole lot of information there if he gives us the blocker. My boy is stalling right now. It's crazy. Bon Clay. And damage, please? Well, -2 here. Okay, so we get the blocker, which is good. I cannot swing here with our leader, which is unfortunate, but we can drop another 10 cost on board. We'll go ahead and trash for Emu's ability first, because I normally forget that. And then we'll pop this off. I guess we'll get rid of... No, just in case we can have options for Stussy. Yeah, this is fine. I don't see us playing the 1-drop event next turn either way. If we play Stussy down or the event, I'd rather keep the Stussy over the 1 cost here. And then float over our Dawn for the event. I guess we'll do this. Cool. Ooh, we get another Elder here. Sorry. Get out of here. Thank you. Alright, so we get another Elder here. Which I don't think we need. Because no matter what, I'm pretty sure he cannot kill us next turn. We'll pass it over here. We have no Dawn active here, which is unfortunate. But we should be able to survive. Because he only has 1 blocker. So if he wants to play another big body down this turn that's not a blocker, I think ideally we just win. Because we can take 2 hits and then we can guard out from the lead. Assuming he plays the big body down. Yep, so there's his 3rd Roger. Which is crazy to see, actually. So it's a 9k again. Should I draw with our blocker here, or should we just take this swing? I suppose it's okay. Because I know we only can take 1 of these. He shouldn't have an unblockable unless I'm forgetting something. Like event-wise, I'm pretty sure he doesn't. But if he does, then I just cook myself. So, let's find out. What did we get? Okay. A little bit more counter. Nothing important. This one we do have to block out. We'll get the draw. There's another Saturn. What are we doing for 2 here? Are we going 6 with Uta? Just to force the body, or what? So I think there was a couple turns where he floated over like at least 1 Dawn. So I don't know why. But I guess we're going to find out here. Because now we have 5 attacks this turn. He has 1 blocker up with 2 cards in hand. So, go 9 again. Yep. We'll take those all day. Now remember, we don't have another 10 cost. So, this has to be game this turn. Interesting. Let's find out. Another 9. This is very risky. Because the only other way we can swing is if we attach all these Dawn and then go for it. Because even if we left up 2 Dawn here, we don't have enough counter in hand to protect out of 3 10-cost swings without a Dawn attached to them. So I think we just have to go all in here. Which is probably good. Maybe. As long as he doesn't have an event. Please? Spooky. Alright, well played. I mean, in all honesty, the matchup was relatively difficult. Just because he was able to stack you know, the promo Rogers back to back to back, which just really dragged out the game more than anything, right? Because he's a 9k lead, which means I don't have the Dawn to attach over unless I don't have anything else to play that turn. However, I think without those promos, he wouldn't have made it that far, which tells you a whole lot about the power of IMU and the current state of the game. I think this leader is just cracked, and I think a lot of people are probably thinking the same thing, just in theory. But Roger does, however, have the power to go the distance, now and even when he gets the promo, so it's going to be like a whole Newgate situation all over again, but we'll see. It's just good to know that IMU can still hold his own up against Roger with the promo, so we're going past turn here. This matchup against Kuzan, you might think it's relatively easy, which, you know, sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't, but it is very difficult because you have to play around pudding. Whereas we have so many searchers and so many ways of drawing cards each and every turn with IMU, with the ability, with the searches we drop on board, Kuzan just has to have one pudding. And with the amount of cards that we have in hand right now, if our deck is like 7 cards left, 6 cards left, or whatever, he plays putting down, we just lose. So it's kind of crazy sometimes how this works out. Sure, we'll leave it on open here, we'll pass it. Now, one of the good things is he cannot remove any of our characters we have on board once we have 7 or more cards in trash due to, you know, the nature of our cards, which are nice. So things like Red Rock, Gravity Blade, Jozu, they don't really get a whole lot of value here. But Kuzan still has the necessary Garp into Kuzan or Garp into Sengoku, or sorry, Sakazuki. They are still big bodies on board, which makes it very difficult for us to attack into them and remove them with the amount of counter that Kuzan typically runs, or the ice block events. So sure, we'll go 5 here. This is, however, another matchup where no matter what, going 5k is great because it just gets a 2k counter out of hand in most cases, or removes, you know, Jozu's or 1 costs. So that was my Discord, not yours. I apologize. It's always when I'm recording something, every time. Yep, I'm just trying to force him to give me cards here to protect the Borsellino. Which I get, he gets to replace it, so he did have a Gravity Blade, unfortunate. I was hoping it was anything other than that, like counter-wise would be nice. But what are you gonna do? So we're at 7 here. 7 in hand as well. It's gonna go 5 lead. Pretty aggressive here with his blocker, which is unfortunate. So what does he play here? Sakazuki, probably? And then Kuzan gets a swing in. A little bit heavier. I guess taking one of these hits is what we're going to have to do here. Or we're going to lose our Mars. Yeah, so there's Sakazuki. Yep. Go 6 lead. We'll give him the 2k. That hand size over there is kind of crazy at this moment in time. We do have 2 10 costs. The problem is we have to play around pudding, so we're going to run 8k into Borsellino here. Just to get cards out of hand, or just remove this off board if possible. He definitely has the counter though. And it's probably more valuable to him to leave this on board, so to protect it. Just let it go, please. Okay. I mean, we got a 2k in the searcher, so Sengoku allows him to draw 3 cards, and, you know, it feels a little bad for him to throw that away. I think we can do this fine. Or fine. I think we can do this. English is hard sometimes. We get a pudding. We'll use stage here. We'll play down this, our blocker. I do, however, want to draw. But maybe he runs Sakazuki into that, so kind of like a pseudo blocker here. I That's not that great, unfortunately. Oh, that's rough. Yep. At least we were guaranteed to have at least 110 cost this turn, because he wants to play down Garp on curve, you know? 5 here. Then he's got, I guess, 7k with Kuzan, or 9k with Sakazuki. We get a 1k here. Okay. We'll guard out. Yep. Are we good? It's looking kind of dire, but I think we're fine here. We do have to at least try to remove board. I cannot go for life just yet with the board state. And Borsellino has also been here all game, so he has been protecting this every single turn, which is interesting. Just want to double check, see what's in trash. I don't think I saw him. There he is. Cool. Alright, so now we're good, boys. Doesn't really matter here what we pitch. So we'll do the thing. There's an event. I guess first things first. We'll use stage. Okay. That was a pretty bad search, but at least they're in the trash. We don't have to worry about them. Let's get your boy on board. We'll do the thing. We'll toss the 2k. We'll get the 2k back. You may be arguing we should have swung first here with the into the Borsellino, but getting down our 6-drop rush allows it to be a little bit easier for us to remove here if we wanted to. So, we'll toss. Doesn't really matter here, just to see if we can pop this. Yes, he's going to be able to replace cards in hand, but we get rid of a 2k counter, which is pretty valuable here for us. I'll take the stage, or sorry, the event. Yep. And now we just have to try to clear board. We're back to 5 cards in hand, which we're still out of pudding range, but which is really nice for us. I suppose, right? We'll go here. Sakazuki is more valuable than removing Borsellino. Nice. As much as I want to attach all 3 Dawn, we can't really afford that. Gives us another 2k. We'll pass turn here. Maybe we could have went 8 into 6. Maybe. Or maybe not. Ideally, probably not. 7 into 5. I mean, I guess. Opponent back to 8 Dawn here. He has to play something on board to be able to use Sakazuki's effect, so... Okay, never mind. It's going to go 7. 12 cards left, we'll guard out here. I have to be careful on when we block with our draw one, so... 9 to lead. This is a event plus 1k counter. He's got 5 Dawn left, which I think he's going to leave up Dawn for the ice blocks. There's a Stussy. 9k here. We'll have to do the thing, go to 9. 10. Another 10k. That sucks. Go to Saturn. So he leaves up 2 Dawn here. So maybe he has 2 Peacocks in hand. Let's get off a free swing. Let's go 6. He let it go. Yeah, this is fine. That's 7 into 6 anyway. Okay, so there's 1 pheasant. Our Maki. We'll try this again. That's gone. I think we're looking good, boys. I think we're looking good. We'll do the stage. Well, I guess we'll swing, right? We'll put him down to 3 life. This gives him a free card, but at the end of the day, it's like we throw away a swing if we drop the 10 cost on board. Okay. 10 cards left. Sure. Okay, not bad. We'll do the effect here. Get rid of the Stussy. Get our blockers back, which is good for us here. We could still swing again with another 7k to face. That's irrelevant. We need the 2k counter. So I think we can win next game. Or next turn, I think. Cards out of hand, please. Ooh, man. That's rough. Alright, we'll pass. That actually really sucks. I think he got that off of life too, by the way, which is crazy. Yep. He's going for it. So he has Kuzan and Garp left. Which potentially one's an 8k and then one's a 9k if he's trying to go for game here. Oh, okay. I mean, I guess. But why? Because he still has the 1 Dawn up, so I'm not too sure why he's trying to push here. So if we guard this one, we have to take the next hit, don't we? Okay. 7 cards left. Yeah, he's going for game. Cool. I mean, this is going to force a block regardless, but still. This also means he doesn't have any events in hands, because he has no Dawn up to play around with them. Double check the 2k counters here. So that's looking pretty good. We'll guard out here. And now we have 5 attacks this turn. And no matter what he gets off life, he can't remove anything on board due to our effects. So I think we're fine. Okay. Had to do some math there real quick. I guess we'll just start, right? Because we have 6 cards left in the deck. This is our last turn here. We have no 10 cost Elder. We could, however, play Saturn. Because we have 1 Elder left in the deck. Right? We do. We have an opportunity of getting the Elder off the search. But depending on how he takes these hits, we might not need it. Because I think if we do play the Saturn, we drop the Elder on board, we still have the Dawn. Or sorry, yeah, we still have the Dawn left over for the event, plus we have some counter in hand. So no matter what, I think we'll be safe next turn if we go down that route. But he's just taking these swings. So, can we put him to 0? Oh, we can put him to 0. Alright. Alright, hold on, wait. We're 7, right? So that's 3. Well, no, actually, now we have to go for game hour, don't we? Because 4 Dawn equals Saturn and 3 Dawn equals Elder with the stage, if we get it off the search. Which we should. But we don't have any Dawn floating over to use our event, so we have to go for face here. 4 in hands. We'll just attach everything. And, well played. Again, sorry. 14. Come on, buddy. Good game. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, coming at you guys with another matchup today into IMU playing against Blackbeard. I'll probably do one more game after this one, roughly. And I will dive into the end of the deck here. Unfortunately, like I mentioned before, IMU is going to be one of those decks in which don't have a lot of variety when it comes to building the deck list. So flexibility is bar none here. And I think if I were to spam out a lot of IMU content, I think a lot of people would get like very upset, because once you see the deck, just like Teach, you've seen them all, you know what I mean? But the leader in himself is just very fun to play. Mind you, I don't think it's as straightforward as people are led to believe. I think the deck does have a lot of ins and outs to it. You have to be paying attention to a lot of things here. It's almost like a Nell in a way, whereas you get to a certain point in which you kind of know what's in your life, you know what I mean, as a Nell. Whereas in IMU, you kind of know what's left in your deck by the way you draw the cards, which is really, really good. It's very similar to that regard, but each their own. Every matchup is still going to be a little bit different here. Either way. Into Blackbeard, I find this to be like super easy. I don't know what it is about it. It's just most Blackbeard players, like 9 out of 10, I feel are just like, they're trying to stop your on plays, which is great, right? Because we're able to play down Saturn, we play down Mars. Everything that we play on board is either a search or a pop, which is really good. Blackbeard just says no to all of that. Therefore, you don't get the effects, which doesn't make it all too difficult, because we're still able to get a body on board in which Blackbeard either can't remove due to the effects of us having 7 cards in trash, or they're just playing bodies down to try to match our bodies. And then we don't have to attack Blackbeard at all, period, until we're ready to go. At that point, if he's attacking us, which he should be, we're going to be attacking the characters that he turns sideways, therefore to get more cards out of his hand, or he just lets the bodies go. So ours are going to be replaceable no matter what in the late game, whereas his are not going to be as such. So we're going to go 6 here. Not really much else we can do besides take this hit, and that's fine. Yep. So there's another Von Augur. He's already at 3 cards left in hand on turn 3. We haven't swung once to face, and we're still not going to. Ideally here we would drop down Mars just to pop down the Shiryu. Just get rid of that. But we have no on plays. So. I suppose we just do stage. And leave up the Dawn, I guess. It doesn't really matter, really. But if we do get an event off life, it's kind of useful, you know? So we'll do this correctly. We'll drop Mars. We don't get to do anything here. And we'll pass turn here. Because now you're in a situation where you either attack and he takes the hit, then he goes to 5 cards next turn. Instead, he wants to probably play something on the field, right? So that's 1 card out of hand. Then he has to pitch another card for his leader ability, which leaves him left with 2 cards. Unless he has Kuzan here, which allows him to get free draws. So, if not, he still has to pitch. So there's a 7-cost Teach. So what do we got here? 6 and a 7k swing, maybe? Yeah, we can give you the 2. Because if he goes 7, he can't really guard out here. Unless we give him the blocker. So we'll do that. Going down to 2 life versus 5 is kind of crazy, so. Now remember, these guys get a boost, so we do have to attach Dawn here to at least try to get rid of them. Which isn't too bad. Because now we can either go 9k into one of them to guarantee it, or we just go 7. If we go 7, it forces him to give me cards in hand. Which is what you want. So, that's what we're going to do. And now he has to let this go, or he goes to 3 cards next turn, plays something on board, pitches 1 card in hand for his effect, then he has 1 card left. There you go. Guaranteed body off the board. We'll just drop this down for our ability here. Necessarily didn't have to do that, I should just played it from hand and did it that way, but it's okay. It's fine. We'll get Mars down, we'll pass turn over. We have 2 Dawn floating up. We have 1 for the event, and then we have 1 if we get 1 off life. So he has a 110 cost Beard in trash. There's a 7. And again, he can't pop anything, which is good. So there's 5k to lead. 2 Dawn open. We'll give him the 1. If he wants to go 7, we can give him the event here. Wow. Interesting. Sure. You're gonna pitch? He did not pitch this turn. Okay. I mean, technically, we can drop down Mars to pop down the Shiryu here. Or we can just force cards out of hand. I'd rather do that. How about you? Because if we do Mars, we remove it. This way, he's just going to give us cards. See? What I say? 8 Dawn. I guess we just do it again here. Because no matter what, we're getting Mars back from the trash, right? We're getting it back off the Gorosei. But hypothetically, if we don't have the 10 cost in hand, he also doesn't know that. I would think he would just give this for free. It doesn't hurt us to drop the 6 cost here. Besides, it pitches us our 4 cost. And this is going to go to the trash anyway, so cool. We get an event, which is good. Let me just double check our trash here. I think we're missing one, aren't we? I think so. Which is unfortunate. So we'll do it like this. This is rough. Yeah, it's fine. We'll do it like that. We can't drop the 10. We could have dropped the 10. But we don't have our 6 drop in trash here. Which is okay. Because if he wants to play 10 cost Beard here, he's only going to lock up a blocker, which is irrelevant. I don't really care. Goes 5 lead. And then he has an 8k swing with Teach. Which by all means, if he wants to swing with that, that's totally okay. There he is. So we got our 6 drop. Please do it. Just swing on me. Because he only can guard one of those swings here. Yep. Okay. Alright. Alright, ladies and gentlemen. It's now time. Let's do the thing. We'll drop the 10 on board. We'll start pressuring. Well, I'm gonna say we're gonna do damage. That is what it is. We're gonna do damage. Nothing he gets off of life can pop anything on board, which is good. Go 5 here again. Yep. It was smart of him to actually give me cards there instead of take life. Because otherwise he guards out with Teach and we just do the thing and then run into it. IMU is so good. This deck is so busted. Alright, so we get the search off. Not a whole lot going on here. We'll take a search here. I guess it's either we take a Saturn or we take the 1 cost event, right? So I guess we'll take the search here. Won't use that ability. We'll search out. There's another 10 drop. Love to see it. Like I said, it gets to the point where you kind of know what you're going to draw. And with the way this deck just searches and draws cards, you are always going to have your 10 cost. Typically. I mean, you might get one of those games where they're in life or all the way at the bottom of your deck, which very unlucky. But 9 out of 10, you're going to see them no matter what. We're going to go 10k here. This should put him on 3, which is good. Yep. It's looking pretty good for us. There's stage. Which I don't necessarily think it would have made a big difference here this game if he had stage or not, because he's still pitching cards anyway. He pitched a card, I think, every single turn up until this point prior to our 10 cost turn. Right? Because on our 10 cost turn, he did not discard a card for his effect. Every turn prior to that, he did. So with the stage, you're basically discarding 2 cards. One for your ability, one for stage, the cycle. So. Go to 9k here. Surprised he doesn't pop the Kuzan. He's gonna go 8. Okay. 8 lead. I think that's okay to take. He's got 2 blockers on board. Okay. So, this means he can guard out 2 swings, right? Technically. Which still gives us 4 swings left. And I think that's math, right? Because if we play Stussy down, we just remove the 10 cost to each on board, then we have 1 Don open. I think it's better to just start swinging here, and then force him to guard out. So we'll bring that down to 10. We'll attach Don to IMU here. We'll go 7. Yep. Do it again. And a good game. Not very eventful, but this is kind of how the matchup goes against Teach most of the time. I personally don't struggle too much into this matchup, and I don't think a lot of people would here as IMU. Again, he can't remove anything on board, and it's typically just body after body after body. You're always going for his board state. If he turns anything sideways, you're making sure to get cards out of hand early. And I do hope you guys don't see this matchup too much at your local scene. But either way, good game. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, this will be the last game of the day. Come at you guys with IMU playing into Ace, in which I think I need the most practice out of, because I think my local scene, again, we house about 64 people every Sunday and Tuesday, which is kind of ridiculous. I think we're going to see Ace and Zoro the most, outside of course, IMU now, but those would be the big 3, and I think you're going to need the most practice into these matchups, because they are very tricky, right? For IMU. I think IMU has a really good time into everything else in the format, of course, but outside of Ace, IMU, and Zoro, those are going to be your most problematic matchups here. And I do think I'm going to see a lot of Ace players, so ideally, I think I'm going to have the worst time into probably Zoro. Probably. Just because it's so much easier for him to just rest something, clear my bodies in the early game. But I think Ace and IMU matchups are kind of just like a toss-up. You need to win the die roll in both matchups, and for IMU you need to be using the other stage versus this stage. But Ace more so, going first into this matchup is just, it feels so bad. You can still win it, but it's very problematic at that point. Because being able to chain Tax Beard into Tax Beard, or just the blocker Newgate into a Tax Beard, it's so hard to deal with. But I digress. We'll trash this. We get the draw. 6 in hand. Alright, we'll pass turn. He's at 5. Could be a Marco turn, attaching 1, going 7k to Ace. Nope, goes 6. Alright. I'll give you a 2. I did not expect that. That's my bad. That's actually rough, to be fair with you. Because I actually wanted to keep that for a 6 drop here this turn, but it is what... Oh. I did not think. That's my bad. We should have just staged there and then played the Mars to pop the Ezo. That way you couldn't use the effect there. But, oh well. Mistakes were made. Let's go 6 lead. Nope. Sure. Man, that sucks. Because now we play Mars on board for nothing, basically. Trash this, get a 10 cost. Okay. But we still have to be mindful of putting here as well. So we'll play Mars, we'll pass turn. I feel it's a little bad. Sorry, team. I let you down there. Ezo, when I attack, you know? I always forget about that. 7. Give us the event here. Go to 8. Jozu, probably? Yep. Mars being unremovable, which is really nice. Get the search off. These are all really good. It's either we're grabbing a search or a 2K counter. Or the event, right? I'll take this like this, and I'll put the 2Ks on top of each other. There we go. I probably won't remember any of that, but it's okay. Get another search down. I think we want to take another one of these. We'll pass. It might have been beneficial there for us to swing with our leader, but we would have no Don left up. So we'd be taking at least 2 hits there, probably with Jozu and Ace. I guess we're taking a hit regardless, or blocking. Never mind. Your boy is just pressuring me here. Sure. At least next... Oh, alright, fair. But again, we have another 10 cost, so I think we're alright. He's got 5 cards left in hand here. So I think we can pressure now. We haven't seen any Marcos for him to replenish hand or anything, which is really good for us. Yep, goes to the 4. We'll do it again. We'll do it again. Get a 2K counter. We'll pop one of these guys. We get a search. Looking pretty good. Look at that. I guess we can actually get rid of the pudding, right? Because it just takes 1 Dawn to swing in. So, trash that. We'll get the event. These are all pretty bad. So it doesn't really matter how we put these on the bottom. We'll do it like this for now. It is what it is. Let's go into Jozu here. 8 to 5 is a number. We get rid of the blocker, which is nice. We'll pass turn over. I'm pretty sure we used our leader ability there. I think we did. 6 lead. Give you the Shirahoshi. Considering Ace is at 5 cards, and that's our first Shirahoshi that we've seen, I believe. So, there's Attack Spirit. Alright, it's not as bad as you think. Alright, the Attack Spirit is still, you can still play around it. Let's see if I get a draw. Not bad. Okay, alright, so the 10 costs really changed how we were going to do this turn. But what I plan on doing was I want to run into Josie regardless of Attack Spirit being on board, and I was going to pitch 2 cards in hand anyway, just because we got the free draw off the KO here. So being able to drop the 4 cost and the 6 cost in hand, assuming we didn't draw a 10 cost, that was still going to be our play. Which means, in order to do this, right, because we're only going to be swinging once this turn, until we pop our 10 costs, now that we have it. Anyway, we're going to be swinging here with our 6-drop rush into the Jozu, which means we discard both 6 cost and 4 cost on board, ideally. So with 7 and a 5, which we should be able to clear this. Nice. Now, we cannot attack with the other 2, but we can, however, still attack with lead, which is good. But now that we draw on the 10 cost, we can play a 10 cost down, do the ability here. Pitch one of these. I don't know why we played the 4 cost on board, now that I think about it. But either way, we get to recycle our board, and we can now swing again with our 6 cost. Because Newgate only taxes the characters that are on board when he's played down, which is good to know. It doesn't carry over to new cards you place on the field, which is good. So now we get a 6K here. We have 2 events in hand. Yep. We'll go 7. Yeah, we'll go 7. 7's fine. This is still going to force another 2K counter in hand if he has it. Nice. So that's 3 Uthas we've seen. And we'll pass turn over. Yeah, that was my fault there. I got a little overzealous. I shouldn't have played the 4-cost blocker on board. I should have saved that for the discard there. Then we would have had 2 1-drop events here instead of the 1-drop and then this one. I'll keep this on the field. And then we'll guard out here of this swing with the draw one. Yep. Now remember, I think the rest of the cards that we put here, we stacked. I'm pretty sure. He's got 3 in hand, 2 life left. We should be able to go for game here. Okay. We'll just keep going for 8s, man. 8s are pretty good. So we can put him down to 1. We did. Same thing. Yep, goes to 6, gives me a 1k counter. Sure. We'll try it again. Yep. He's got 4 in hand, no Dawn active. He's a 6k lead. He's already used his ace ability once, so I think we can go for game here. That's math. Well played. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome into the end of the video. I do hope you guys enjoyed this one. Today we got to play around with IMU here in OP13, in which that means you guys should be getting a bunch more OP13 content. That's going forward, which I'm pretty excited for. We're going to start this month off strong. I'll be posting as much as I possibly can. Considering last month I was sick and I didn't put out as many videos as I typically do, you guys, I'm going forward with OP13 and thus forth, trying to get as much content as I can coming your way. I'm going to try to keep it as diverse as possible. So you guys will be getting meta decks, non-meta decks, meta decks with Spice, all this sort of thing here on the channel, but I won't be spamming directly meta decks as I typically don't here. Now, today, again, we played with IMU. We played against a bunch of top meta decks, so against Roger. Only thing I didn't really see today was Zoro, which I'm not too mad about, but we did get some games in against Roger, and we played against an ace today. I would continue to play some more games, but however, we're already past an hour mark, and I try to keep these videos as an hour if possible. Sometimes I go over. Either way, personally, I'm going to need some practice into the mirror here, and I'm going to need some practice into Zoro. So I feel like those matchups are the trickiest and the most difficult, if you will. The mirror is not necessarily too bad. Like I said, we typically just go for the this stage over this stage, and you're getting bodies on board early game, and you're just going as aggressive as possible. Now, with the Zoro matchup, it's very difficult for IMU if you guys lose that die roll. Zoro has the ability of just resting your very cheap blockers and bodies on board and just attacking into them, restanding and swinging at your face. It's very hard. However, I think against Roger and Ace and everything else in the format, it's very winnable for you if you're going second, right? This matchup's pretty difficult if you go first, but going second, amongst every other matchup in the format, I think it's kind of favored towards IMU right now. I could be entirely wrong once we get more statistics, but currently that's kind of how it's been shaping up. Now, with this current deck list, don't expect to see very many variations of IMU going forward. You guys will see something just like this at your local scene against every other deck out there in the format. There is one card that is kind of interesting. I don't know if it's here yet in the sim. I don't think so. Yeah, this guy. This card is kind of interesting. I have seen some lists running this. I haven't really had too much experience with it just yet. It's okay. It does allow you to get back a card from your trash of 3 costs or less, right? Adds to your hand, which ideally this brings back a 2k counter, or this will bring back a blocker, like one of the early game blockers, which would be, I think, Charles, right? Is that how you say his name? Where is he at? I think it's better to go for 2. Yeah. This allows you to get things back like this from the trash and add it to your hand. It's not necessarily too bad. However, it's very hard to fit it into the deck without cutting other cards out, in which you don't have very much wiggle room to begin with. So the Shirahoshi, the Sabo, the Stussy, or Stussy, depending on how you want to say it, you have a little bit of leeway. But again, I've just seen it in a couple different lists. So if you guys are interested in running this or trying it out, or it's working for you, let us know down in the comments below. I personally, like I said, I haven't had too much experience with this particular card, but it is working. But I digress. This has been Pawseplays. Remember to hit those like buttons so we get these videos floating around, and enjoy the rest of your day, and good luck at your pre-release events this weekend. I will catch you guys in the next one. Stay safe out there.